Hi, I'm Mac. For the past 3 years, I've been living in my parents' converted basement apartment while saving for my own place. It's not fancy, but I've made it home. Decent bathroom, small kitchen area, and enough space for my stuff. Hey, you coming up for dinner? Mom made lasagna. My dad, Robert, called down the stairs one Thursday evening. Be right up. I grabbed the envelope with my monthly rent check. Yes, I pay them $800 a month plus utilities. They've been struggling since Dad got laid off 2 years ago. He found work eventually, but at half his previous salary. Upstairs, my mom Linda was setting the table while my sister Vanessa showed off her massive engagement ring. Again. Mac, look who stopped by, Mom gestured excitedly. Vanessa barely looked up from her phone. Hey, little bro. Derek and I just booked the caterer, $40 per plate. Can you believe how reasonable that is? Vanessa chirped. Her fiancé Derek comes from money, old money, the kind where no one discusses what things cost because it doesn't matter. That's your definition of reasonable? I placed my rent check on the counter. Not all of us want to live in our parents' basement forever, Vanessa rolled her eyes. After dinner, Mom and Dad exchanged that look, the one parents give when they've already decided something you're not going to like. Mac, honey, we need to discuss something, Mom started. Vanessa's wedding is in 2 months and we're going to need your space. Need my space? For what? Wedding preparations, storage for gifts, and Derek's parents will need somewhere to stay the week before, Dad explained. When were you planning to tell me this? We're telling you now, Vanessa interjected. It's not like you don't have options. I called my buddy Tyler immediately after. Dude, they're kicking me out for a wedding. That's messed up. Need a place to crash? The next day, I came home from work to find boxes stacked in my living area. They'd packed up most of my stuff without asking. We thought we'd help you get started, Mom said when I confronted her. You've got 3 weeks. I have a rental agreement. This is illegal. Don't be dramatic, Dad sighed. Family helps family. Vanessa needs this. 2 weeks later, I was hauling my stuff to Tyler's apartment. This is temporary, man, Tyler assured me, clearing space in his spare room. You can stay as long as you need. I appreciate it. I'll cover groceries and chip in for utilities. After settling in, I checked my email. There was a notification from my bank, a charge for $4,300 from Home Depot. I logged into my account and saw my emergency credit card had been maxed out. I drove back to my parents' house and let myself in with my key. The basement door was unlocked. Inside, I found new flooring, fresh paint, and a brand new bathroom vanity. What the hell, I muttered, taking pictures with my phone. Mom appeared at the stairs. Mac, we weren't expecting you. Yeah, I can see that. Why is my emergency credit card maxed out at Home Depot? Oh, we were going to discuss that with you. We needed to spruce things up for Derek's parents. We'll pay you back after the wedding. I stared at her, speechless. They hadn't just kicked me out. They'd stolen from me, too. You'll pay me back? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. That's over $4,000, Mom. You used my emergency card without permission. Don't be so dramatic. It's for family. I stormed out, fuming all the way back to Tyler's place. When I got there, he was setting up a gaming console in the living room. That didn't take long. Everything okay? They charged $4,300 to my emergency credit card for renovations without asking. Tyler whistled. Damn, that's straight up theft. Tell me about it. I collapsed onto the couch. They said they'll pay me back after the wedding, whatever that means. Living with Tyler wasn't terrible. He kept the place clean, and we had similar schedules, but I was still pissed about everything. 3 days later, my phone rang. It was Dad. Mac, we'd like you to join us for lunch tomorrow. Derek's parents will be there. I'm working. Take a long lunch. Gianni's at noon. It's important. I should have known better, but I went. Gianni's was way fancier than my parents could afford. When I arrived, they were already seated. Mom, Dad, Vanessa, Derek, and an older couple who had to be Derek's parents. Mac, finally, Vanessa exclaimed like I was hours late instead of 2 minutes. This is Mr. and Mrs. Harrington, Mom introduced proudly. I shook hands and sat down, already feeling underdressed. The lunch was painful. Derek's parents were clearly loaded, talking about their vacation homes and charity galas. After dessert, Dad cleared his throat. So, Mac, we wanted to discuss the wedding budget. We've hit a small snag, Mom added. Vanessa jumped in. The venue raised their prices and the flowers cost more than expected. Okay, what's that got to do with me? Dad leaned forward. We're short about $15,000. I nearly choked on my water. And we thought since you're doing so well at your job, Mom trailed off. You want me to pay 15 grand for a wedding I was barely invited to? Vanessa glared. You're the best man. Of course you're invited. Since when am I the best man? Derek looked uncomfortable. I thought you told him, he whispered to Vanessa. I was getting around to it, she hissed back. Look, Dad interrupted, family helps family. Your sister would do the same for you. Would she? Because right now she's living in my apartment that you renovated with my stolen credit card. Mr. Harrington raised an eyebrow. Stolen credit card? Figure of speech, Mom laughed nervously. After that disaster, Derek caught up to me in the parking lot. Hey, Mac, can we talk for a sec? What's up? Look, I had no idea about the credit card thing. Vanessa told me you offered to help with renovations. Well, I didn't. Derek shifted uncomfortably. She's been telling everyone you're selfish with money, that you've always refused to help despite living there so cheaply. Cheaply? I paid $800 in rent plus utilities. She said you were living there for free. That's why I thought it was reasonable when they suggested you contribute to the wedding. Back at Tyler's, I dumped the whole story. Dude, this is beyond messed up, Tyler said, grabbing his laptop. I work in finance, remember? We need to document everything. How long have you been paying them rent? 3 years, I've got the canceled checks. What about other expenses? As we dug through my bank statements, a pattern emerged. Family emergencies where I'd loaned money, bills I'd covered, gifts I'd been guilted into buying. Mac, they've taken nearly 30 grand from you over 3 years. No way. Look at the math, and I bet there's more we're not seeing. Tyler helped me set up a spreadsheet. We need to record everything. Dates, amounts, witnesses, conversations. This is financial abuse. I stared at the growing list, sick to my stomach. They're my family. Why would they do this? Because they could, Tyler said simply, but not anymore. The spreadsheet on Tyler's laptop screen told a disturbing story. 3 years of financial manipulation laid bare in rows and columns. That's just what we can prove with your bank records. Let's dig deeper. Tyler cracked his knuckles and pulled up my credit report. Your parents are listed as authorized users on 2 of your cards? Did you know that? Just the emergency one. What's the other? American Express opened last year. I don't have an Amex. Tyler swiveled the laptop toward me. According to this, you do, and it's carrying an $8,700 balance. My stomach dropped. That's identity theft. Family or not, that's exactly what it is. I called my sister the next morning, wondering if she was also being scammed. Vanessa, has Mom or Dad ever borrowed money from you? Are you kidding? They've been helping me with my student loans. Not everyone has your financial privileges, Mac. What privileges? I work 60 hours a week. Whatever. Have you thought about the wedding contribution? I'm still processing the credit card situation. God, you're so petty about money. They're fixing up the basement for your benefit, too. After hanging up, I texted Tyler, we need to go deeper. That weekend, we drove by my parents' house. They weren't home, but their driveway had some new additions. Is that a jet ski? Tyler squinted through his windshield. And Dad's driving a new truck. He told me last month they could barely make the mortgage. We parked down the street and waited. When they arrived home, Dad was wearing a Rolex I'd never seen before, and Mom carried shopping bags from high-end stores. Financial hardship, my ass, Tyler muttered, snapping photos. Back at his apartment, we formulated a plan. The wedding's 6 weeks away. If we play this right, they'll face consequences without you breaking any laws. I'm listening. First, call your parents. Tell them you've reconsidered helping with wedding expenses. But with conditions, I added, catching on. Exactly. You'll pay vendors directly. No cash to them. I made the call the next day. Mom nearly cried with relief. I knew you'd come around, honey. Family sticks together. I'll need the vendor list and contracts. I'm paying them directly. Oh, but we've already promised. That's my condition. Take it or leave it. She took it. Within hours, Vanessa texted me a spreadsheet of vendors. With Tyler's help, I contacted each one. Afternoon, I'm Mac Anderson, brother of the bride. I'll be handling some payments for the Anderson-Harrington wedding. The florist sounded confused. The balance was paid in full last week. Mr. and Mrs. Anderson presented a check from the Harrington family. The same story repeated with every vendor, fully paid by the Harringtons. My parents and sister were running a double scam, collecting from both sides. Holy shit, Tyler whistled when I reported back. The Harringtons are paying for everything while your parents try to milk you too. Have you met with the venue yet? Tomorrow at 11. Perfect. I've got an idea. We spent the night preparing documents, collecting evidence, and recording conversations. Tyler called in favors from friends in digital security and event planning. This plan has to be airtight, I insisted. They'll deny everything otherwise. Trust me, by the time the wedding reception starts, everyone will know exactly who your family really is. And we're sure this is legal? Completely. We're just ensuring the truth comes out at the most convenient moment. I nodded, feeling a strange mix of sadness and resolve. Let's do it. The wedding day arrived with picture-perfect weather. I showed up early at the venue, dressed in my rented tux, playing the supportive brother role to perfection. Mac, thank goodness you're here. Mom rushed over, frantic. The DJ needs the final payment before he sets up. I've got it covered. I patted my jacket pocket where the envelope waited. What she didn't know was that I'd already spoken with the DJ yesterday. Vanessa looked stunning. I'll give her that. As she was getting ready, I stopped by her preparation room. Got a minute? What? I'm kind of busy here. She barely looked up from her phone. Just wanted to say I'm happy for you, and I've taken care of that contribution Mom and Dad asked for. Her eyes widened. Seriously, that's unexpected. Thanks, I guess. The ceremony went off without a hitch. Derek looked genuinely happy, which almost made me feel bad for him. Almost. At the reception, I maintained my cool as the best man, delivering a charming toast that had everyone raising their glasses. Mr. Harrington clapped me on the shoulder afterward. Good speech, son. You've got a way with words. Thanks. Actually, I'd like to propose another toast later if that's okay. A special surprise for the family. Of course, just let the MC know. An hour later, dinner was finished and the dancing had begun. I nodded to Tyler, who was posing as my +1 while manning the tech. You ready? He adjusted his laptop, connected to the venue's projector system. Let's do this. I approached the MC, who handed me the microphone as planned. The music faded. Ladies and gentlemen, if I could have your attention for just a moment. As Vanessa's brother, I wanted to share something special with everyone. The lights dimmed, and the projector illuminated the wall behind me. This is a financial story, my family's financial story. The first slide appeared, a timeline of my rent payments alongside my parents' luxury purchases made the same day. For 3 years, I've supported my parents financially while they claimed poverty, but that money wasn't going to necessities. Gasps rippled through the crowd as photos of the new jet ski, the Rolex, and shopping sprees appeared. They kicked me out of my legal residence to host this wedding, then charged thousands to my credit card without permission. Then they tried to collect money from both me and the Harrington family for expenses that were already paid. The evidence was damning. Bank statements, recorded phone calls played through the speakers, copies of the fraudulent credit card application. That's enough. Dad lurched to his feet, face red. Actually, it's not. I clicked to the next slide. Here's where it gets interesting. They've been running this same scam on Vanessa for years, telling her they were helping with her student loans when actually, they took out loans in my name? Vanessa's voice cut through the silence. The room erupted in chaos. Derek's parents looked horrified. Mom was crying. Dad was yelling. Mr. Harrington stood up, his voice authoritative. We're withdrawing our post-wedding financial support, all of it. Derek looked between his new wife and his parents, stunned. You knew about this, Vanessa? No, I swear. I handed the microphone back to the MC. There's complete documentation at each table. Enjoy the rest of your evening. 6 months later, I was signing the closing papers on my new condo. Tyler had helped me restore my credit after reporting the fraud. My parents had to sell their house to cover debts. Vanessa and Derek were in counseling, their future uncertain. My phone buzzed, another desperate text from Mom. I deleted it without reading and turned to Tyler. Ready for the housewarming party? Hell yeah, new beginnings, right? Exactly, without toxic family weighing me down. I locked my phone and looked around at my new place. Finally, something that was truly mine, that nobody could take away. Would you stand up to toxic family members like Mac did, or would you have forgiven them because they're family? At what point do you think someone has the right to cut off family members who repeatedly take advantage of them? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm curious where you draw the line between family loyalty and self-respect. If you enjoyed this revenge story and want more like it, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. New stories drop every day about people who finally stood up for themselves against those who wronged them.